Okay, so today is Thursday, September 19th, 2024. So, I guess going into my week, the first thing is what happened Friday, which I made a video about that, but the short and super important thing is I got my results and I passed the bar exam. I got a good enough score to pass in every jurisdiction that has the UBE, which means I did in fact pass that pesky Rhode Island bar. Excuse me. Unfortunately, and this is just kind of a personal thing, I would have loved a more thorough breakdown of my score, because it's like, this is what you got on the written overall, this is what you got on the multiple choice overall. But I would really like to know, it's like, okay, how did I do on the performance test versus the essays, and kind of a breakdown of every essay, because I can't go into the specifics. That's something they say, like, hey, you're not supposed to talk about the specifics of the exam and what was tested, especially on the essays. You're going to do specific questions, so I won't do that. But some of those essays I felt a lot better about than others, and I'm like, yeah, so the ones where I didn't feel so good, like that first one, when I was like, did I do super well on it, actually? Because I was able to really understand, it's like, this is what you want me to say. I'm able to issue spot this super well. Did I do super bad on it, but I did so well on the other essays, it didn't matter? Personally, I would just kind of like to know that shit. But the most important thing is I got, like I said, a good score, a passing score at all the jurisdictions, and that's what really fucking matters. Okay, this is unrelated to most of the shit I usually talk about, of like, oh yeah, this game and this show. I think I heard a ghost earlier this week, or I guess technically last week. I think it was like Thursday afternoon, or it was Friday afternoon. But I remember being in the house, and Clay had either just woken up or was in the other room. And I'm gonna be honest, it was probably Journey. It was probably Journey making this kind of high-pitched little squeal or moan or something because she wanted attention or she wanted to go outside. I don't know. Even as it happened, I was like, this is probably what it was. But it sounded a little too high-pitched. It sounded Journey enough that it could be the dog, but also different enough that it probably wasn't. And it sounded like it came from a different part of the house than where Journey was currently at. And I remember this one time when I had a mirror in my room. I think it was on the back of my door, because I think it was there when I had moved in. And Clay gets out of the shower, and I think he heard something. He heard something say get out or leave or some shit. And then the mirror just fell and shattered. And I was like, huh, this was a few years ago. We haven't really had a paranormal incident in a while. And I'm like, huh, I guess it is almost a spooky month. Did I actually hear a ghost? What the fuck? So that was a neat thing that maybe happened. I don't know, but I'll say I believe in ghosts. I don't know what a ghost is exactly. It's maybe it is just a spirit that has unfinished business. I can talk about my faith. You die, I assume you go to heaven, you go to hell, or I don't know, maybe you do go to purgatory. Maybe you do just kind of have to sit and wait for Judgment Day, and maybe everyone's Judgment Day is different, or there's Judgment Day, and everyone's kind of in the waiting room before that happens. I don't know, but if that's the case, so what is a ghost? Is this, I don't know, but I think they're real. I don't know if I've ever truly encountered one. Maybe last week, but there's that. What the hell is that say? Oh, okay. I saw a capital F and then an I, and I was like, is this supposed to say Flintstones? What the fuck does that have to do with Flintstones? Oh no, that just says finished. Might be, because I don't think I said this in my recent Thursday videos, but I did finish Sia. And now that Sia is done, I have started Coldplay, because I think I did finish Sia last week. And I started Coldplay 1 week ago, because last Thursday, I went to B-Dubs, and I took my friend with me so we could watch some football. before I went, I took a walk, and I was listening to Parachutes when I took the walk. Excuse me. And I think I mentioned this in the last, like, the Friday video. I listened to Rush of Blood to the Head and X and Y. And since, I've also heard Viva La Vida, Miloto, is it Milo Xyloto or like Miloto Xyloto? That one. And Ghost Stories. So I have Head Full of Dreams. I don't remember the next two. I got 3 albums left of Coldplay that have come out, and then a 4th album, Moon Music, which I think a couple singles have come out, but I don't think it actually comes out till October. So it's kind of serendipitous in its own way that I've said, all right, it's time for Coldplay when, holy shit, Coldplay has a new album. Also, potentially serendipitous is, as I was driving, because I have Sirius XM radio, I got an announcement. It's like, hey, you know, they're doing a show. Sorry, let me scratch real quick. They're doing a show in Brooklyn in early October. I think it is kind of like to celebrate the release of the album. And they're like, hey, here's a sweepstakes. So you get free airfare, a hotel, you can go see the show, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, why not? It's free to enter and all that shit. So here's what happens. Either I get it, and I get to go see a band that I've always liked, and it's like the songs that I've heard, which for the most part is just like the singles on the radio, are songs I really like. And now that I'm really going through their discography, I'm like, no, this band is really, really good. Rush of Blood to the Head might be my favorite album that I've listened to so far this year. So being able to see them live, like, right, someone I've always liked, but now have a much deeper appreciation for, right as I'm finishing up listening to their discography, right as they're about to release the next album, that works out really well. And if I get to go to that, that's so cool. If I don't, at least I didn't pay for it. Like, it's disappointing, but it's not like, man, I put so much time into this. I worked so hard for this. Like, I literally just, here's my name, here's my contact information, hope a win. Great if it doesn't, or great if it does, not the worst thing in the world if it doesn't. Clay and I finally fucking finished a season of Adventure Time. We finished season 6, and we've talked about it, and it seems like our consensus is we're not going to go back to Godzilla yet. We're going to keep going. It sounds like Clay is like, dude, I just want to go ahead and finish Adventure Time. The seasons are going to get a lot shorter than the last 2. We started this project about a year ago. It's about time we finish it. The ending is in sight. I think it's better if we just go. I'm on board with that. I'm all good with that. I would like to... sorry. The sun is like right in my fucking face. Sorry, can I... Sorry, I'm seeing the shadow. Maybe I can move this a little bit to make the lighting better. No, I don't really like that. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep this... Oh, I think I like almost had a spot. Sorry, that's what it is. Anyways, point. Yeah, even when I lean forward, it just goes right into the fucking... We finished season 6. We're gonna try to finish Adventure Time before we go back to Godzilla. There's a chance we'll do like another season or 2 and then say, all right, we are gonna take a little bit of a break before the end. But also because the last 2 seasons are so much shorter, because they're, I think it's 16 and 14 or 16 and 10. They're about, they're only slightly longer together than season 7 or season 8. At that point, we'll probably just say, fuck it, let's go. I don't know, maybe we'll take a short break and watch season 3 of Konosuba or something, which I haven't seen yet, and I'm very, very, very excited to. That's Adventure Time. Clearly, we haven't recorded our video on it yet. I don't know when we will. I don't know how much I really want to. Like, for posterity's sake, I want to, because we did it for the previous seasons. But because of how we watched season 6, like, all right, we watched it for a bit, and then kind of stopped, and I watched it for a bit, and then kind of stopped, and then we watched it. I feel like my experience of it was so broken up that it's hard for me to be able to really talk about it. It's like, all right, this is the shit that happens. This is the effect it had on me thematically in terms of its actual plot and whatnot. What happened in season 6? That was the arm, that's the dad, the comet, Orgalorg. I guess I do remember some shit from, I don't know, maybe we will. We'll see how it goes. I also watched Black Swan last week, because I don't remember if I mentioned that in my video, because I also don't remember what day I did it. It wasn't, I don't think it was Friday. I feel like it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe it was Thursday after. It was an earlier day, so I think there was a hearing. So I want to say it was Wednesday. Anyways, I don't remember if I said it. I probably did, but I did watch Black Swan. I loved it. I wasn't as sure when I watched it, because as I was watching, I was like, I like the movie. I think it's all right. And the more I thought about it, especially when I got to the last 30 minutes, I was like, okay, this is the movie I really wanted. It's really good. And then the more I reflected on it, I was like, no. I really, really loved it. I want to do a video on Black Swan. I haven't gotten around to writing my notes for it yet. I don't know when I will. It's not like Dune Messiah, where I was kind of saying for a while, I was like, I probably will, but I don't know, and I need to get my notes together. I'm not going to do a fucking video on Dune Messiah. I'm going to be honest, I just didn't like the book enough. And to be fair, even if I don't like something, I can still talk about it. I talked for a fucking hour about how mediocre My Tiny Senpai was. But Dune Messiah was essentially, thematically, this book is super interesting. In terms of the plot and the way, like, the characters are written and the shit they do, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. I just didn't get super into it. I didn't have much to say. I feel like I have something I want to say about Black Swan. I just haven't sat down to work through it and articulate it yet. So I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I want to. It feels like something I need to. On a similar vein, we have Arcane, which I started watching earlier this week. I've got one episode left. I was going to try to finish it last night, but it just wasn't loading for whatever reason, which sucks. But hopefully I can finish it today. I actually want to finish it this morning before I go to work. I really, really, really like it. I kept hearing about how good the show was, how fantastic it was. Like, it's a 10 out of 10, it's a 9 out of 10. 8 of 9 episodes down, I would agree. There's some kind of issues I have with it where I'm like, all right, this is a scene that feels a little weird with how it's ended, or like some of the, I don't want to say it. It's like the voice acting is really good. I genuinely think it is. But sometimes there's a line delivery that sounds so, just slightly kind of off. I'm like, huh, okay. There's a lot of moments to me that are like that, and it's not always the voice acting. Sometimes it is like the actual writing is just slightly off, but the other 90% of the episode is fantastic. So it's not even that they add, in this scenario, it's not like they really add up to being like, no, the show was not that good, or it's significantly flawed. It's just more of a, oh, that was a little weird. Oh, good shit. That was a little weird. Okay, good shit. So I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't think I'm going to do a video on it because I don't know what I really want to say about it, but good shit. Apparently season 2 is coming out in November, so kind of like with Coldplay, I serendipitously picked a really good time to get into this. So there's that. The first episode of the new season of Survivor, that was 40 Several, was yesterday. I'm not going to do a video with my mom on it for 2 reasons. Number 1, Mom's out of the country. Like, Mom, she's on a vacation. She comes back sometime in October. So, at that point, we'll probably do some videos on it together. Well, maybe we'll see. The other reason is I'm not doing a video on it separately because I just didn't get into it. I watched it, and I'll be honest, like, I was just mentally not in a good place yesterday. I'm gonna put a little bit of a pin in that. And I was just kind of mostly looking at memes on my phone and going through some of them while I was watching Survivor. So admittedly, I wasn't giving it its full attention. But even when I was like, this is all right. I'm not hating it. Like, I didn't think like, wow, this is bad. I just felt uninvested. One of the most interesting parts of the episode, and I feel really bad for saying this, was watching Andy and Andy's like collapse. Not the physical collapse, but just what the hell is this dude doing? Like, that had my attention, but I wasn't like, man, I'm so invested watching this. It was just kind of this poor dude, like, this feels really sad to watch. I don't know, I just didn't love it. Oh, don't get me wrong. That's not me saying, man, I didn't get into the premiere, because looking online, it seems like quite a lot of people really liked the premiere, and I'm glad they did. I'm not like, man, I'm gonna drop it, like, the premiere sucked, the whole season's gonna suck. I'm gonna keep going. It's Survivor, it's what I do. But if I'm not getting invested into the season, I'm not gonna make videos on it, because if I don't, because it's not always that I don't care enough about something, because I loved Monster when I read it last year. I just was like, I don't know what I want to say about it, so I won't. With Arcane, I think the show is phenomenal, but I don't really know what I want to say about it, so I don't plan on it. And then you've got a show like Fallout, which it's the example I always use, which is a show I loved and I wanted to talk about, but I just didn't really know what to say. So even more than usual, the video just felt like a jumbled mess, and I didn't like it. And I don't want to make another video like that. I have my jumbled messes. I will repeat my damn self. I will talk in circles. I will go on tangents. I will... and then remember a word. Like, all that shit is part of my authentic experience. But also, I want to actually have something, I don't know if meaningful is the right word, because I'm not trying to be like, oh man, everything I say is super deep, because it's not. But I want to talk about, if I have something I feel like I want to say, or it's specifically like to mark my progress through something like with Worm, because I'm pretty sure there were arcs of Worm where I'm like, dude, I don't really know, I don't have a lot specific to say, but I'm marking my progress through the journey. Product Horizons is kind of like that too. I've had a lot to say about a lot of different chapters. Quick pen, and actually, let me go and talk about that real quick. I haven't read it in a bit because I wanted to get caught up on videos and just had a lot of other shit going on at once. Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 have been read. I went ahead and recorded Chapter 10 because I was like, I have a lot of notes. This is going to be long. The video is like an hour and 12 minutes. Chapter 9's video I haven't recorded yet. I plan on doing it not too long after this. Should be like 30, probably less. I would be a little surprised if it's longer than 25 minutes. But anyways, that's how that is. So I plan on probably reading more this weekend or sometime next week. So that's that one. Xenogears, I really just haven't touched in a while. And I'm like right at the end of disc 1. I think here's my problem with Xenogears. Number 1, it is how I'm choosing to consume it. Because just watching cutscenes is not the best way to experience a game. And I will fully acknowledge that. Like, if I was just like watching like a full playthrough or like let's play, that's maybe one thing. Like, if I was watching someone play a Trails game and just the cutscenes, I might still be into it because I really love the series, but also I might be like, this isn't the best way. But I tried to play it and I just could not get into it. I fucking hate the camera in this game, and the actual navigation feels like dog shit, and combat to me feels so slow, and not in a way where like Xenosaga 1 feels slow, where it's very, I mean, it's also just kind of slow in general, but it feels very tactical, so it's kind of rewarding. This just feels slow. And after a while, like, I was like, okay, this is almost kind of fun, but not really. And I think mech combat is really not fun at all. So that's great. And like, let me just get to the story. The story, being as honest as possible, I think the story of Disc 1 is solid. There's moments like Maria and her dad that I think are really good. When it gets into some of the, like, Faye and Ellie are very similar to previous people kind of shit, I think that's really interesting. But the game's story hasn't impressed me yet. And that's why I would wanted to get into Xenogears. Like, this is supposed to be one of the greatest games ever made. This is one of the greatest video game stories ever made. People love this game. They go gaga for this game. I can't fucking wait to play it and experience it for myself. And it hasn't blown me away yet. And my understanding is that's what Disc 2 is going to be. So I'm very excited for it. But I am just kind of like, I don't want to say when does it get good, because it's good. I just want to see it get great. But I plan on hanging out with some of my friends later today. Wyatt's going to be playing Persona. Chris is going to be playing Trails. And I'm like, you know what? If you're playing an RPG and you're playing an RPG, I can be over there and I can watch Gears. I think that's good. I think that's like the perfect environment for me to watch Xenogears again. And hopefully, like, I should then be getting into Disc 2. And hopefully that'll kind of give me, like, the spark and the burst I need to be like, dude, I'm finishing it this week. Because this shit is so good. I can't put it down. It's amazing. I kind of want to also just get it done so I can do other shit again. Let's finish Xenogears. And I don't know what the fuck my next game project is going to be after that. I really wanted to play Wukong, but money is very tight for me right now. I guess I'll take that one pin out. So the headlight in my car was fucked. And I got it fixed. And I got a call, I got it fixed yesterday, and I got a call, and I was told, like, hey, you know, it's, we have to kind of, like, take some shit apart to be able to get in there. What we thought was going to be kind of a cheap job, it's going to be about, like, $160. I'm like, all right, that sucks, but it is what it is. And then when I get the bill, it's $260. I was like, well, it was $160 for the labor. The actual part was, like, $90, so, it is what it is, you know? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, like, when someone tells me the job is gonna be $160, I assume that's for everything related to the job. Now, I'd also asked for an oil change, and the oil change was a little bit on top of that, and that's fine. Like, not including the oil change, because that was something separate, but also requested. It's like, wait, I'm not gonna call foul for being charged for the part and the service. That sounds reasonable. But when you give me the estimate, I assume that estimate is for both the part and the service. I'm like, well, that's just fucking great. I love this. I applied for a forbearance a week or two ago to try to help with my loan payments because they're high. It's like $540 a month. So I'm hoping I can get that, which will help stabilize some shit, and then hopefully after about 6 months, because that's how long I want the forbearance to be, with shit more stabilized, we can take care of everything. But that's that. Just yesterday was a very long and frustrating day, and a lot of that was the car. I woke up early. I didn't sleep well. I didn't really sleep well last night either. It's just the last few weeks have just kind of been a lot. I wasn't sure if I really was gonna say this, but I guess I'm gonna. This was around the time last year where I lost my nephew. I don't remember what day it was, because also the day I found out was the day, I believe, after it happened. I think it was like the 21st or the 22nd. which is this weekend, because I know Saturday is the 21st. Because Wyatt, he wants to do something on that day because it's September, you know, do you remember the 21st night of September? He's like, yeah, like, I want to, like, have some people over so we can, like, have something to remember for the 21st night of September. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I would love to do that. And now I'm like, September 21st, I think for me is now gone from a meme because of a genuinely great song. Like, I love September. Maybe I should add Earth, Wind, and Fire to my artist that I'm doing the discography of. I should have had Michael Jackson. Like, Clay was telling me yesterday, because a couple days ago we were talking about Bad and Thriller. I don't remember what brought it up, but for whatever reason, I was like, is Thriller still the best-selling album of all time? Oh, yeah, it's not even close. So he's like, you know, I'm going to listen to Thriller. And I was like, are you going to listen to Bad too? I don't know, we'll see. But he listened to Bad first, and then he listened to Thriller. I was like, shit, I should do that. That actually sounds really fun. Yeah, I should add Michael Jackson. Anyways, point is September 21st is just kind of a meme I associate with a song I like quite a bit. And given the just, like, general jollity of the song, it's something that, you know, it gives me some energy. It makes me happy, you know, remember the night, because it makes sure you have a good one. And now I feel like it's a time of the year where I'm just gonna be sad. And I don't want to be. I'm sad a lot of the time anyways. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to, like, blame my nephew for making me sad, or, like, you ruined this shit for me. It's just, it's something I'm probably going to be thinking about every year now. That's great. I'm not going to end the video on that note, though. I got something else to complain about. And this is a fun complaint, don't get me wrong. So, remember how a couple weeks ago I was like, dude, I'm working on Severance, it's the VN, and I'm going, I'm going to go as I go, and I'm going to get, like, so much shit done by the end of the month, and it's going to be awesome. And then the next week I was like, so I just kind of didn't do shit because it just wasn't clicking. I wasn't feeling it and as much as I would love to. I think I just need to take a break. And if I have a day where I want to do a little bit, I can, but I'm kind of just going to let it sit for a bit so I can recharge. So on Friday, as I've said, I listened to Coldplay's A Rush of Blood to the Head. And while listening to it, I was thinking, this reminds me a lot of a character from a different story. And by the time I got to the end of the song, I was like, you know, it also reminds me of a character from Severance. And then I ended up listening to it again with that character in mind. And I think it really fits her in kind of a lot of different ways. And I had the song stuck in my head for a few days. I really like it. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite on the album because Amsterdam hits really hard and also Clocks exists. And I genuinely think that Clocks is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. Like, it's just so perfect. But I had Rush stuck in my head, and I just kept thinking of this character from Severance. And I was like, I'm seeing her backstory now, and it's always been there. Like, the base idea of her backstory and what she experienced and the reason she's the person that she is, because this is for the main antagonist. And I was like, I think this is shit that should be here. I think this needs to be a chapter, and I think I know exactly where it goes, which means, it's more work for me to do. I said I was taking a break, and now I can't because I gotta do this shit, and it's interesting, and I'm writing a good chunk of it, and it's going. Like, are you kidding me? When I say I want to work on it, I have to take a break. And then when I'm like, I'm taking a break and it feels good. Just when I think I'm out, it pulls me back in. But just when I'm in, it pushes me back out. Like I said, it's a fun complaint. So I haven't I haven't actually touched it in a couple days. Like I said, at Tuesday I had a very, like, just a good day, very nice day, but just kind of a, like, I'm just busy, but I'm also just busy chilling kind of day. And then yesterday was I'm just not in the mind for this shit. Today, I don't know if I will, because like I said, I'm going to be hanging out with the boys playing Xenogears. Excuse me, but I'm off Friday. And I feel like really what I want to do Friday is probably get more Xenogears done. I don't think I'm going to finish it. Depending on how much I get done today, maybe I could finish it. We'll see. I really just kind of want to sit down and say, Severance. There's this one part in chapter 3 that just kind of was like, it's fine, but it's been bothering me because I know it's not fine and I think I know how to fix it. Let me fix that. Let me go ahead and write this backstory chapter at the end of the book. Then let's jump back into chapter 4 where I left off and go from there. I'll probably have some more Calcum stuff that I want to do because I was stuck for a bit, but I think I'm unstuck. I just have to do that and then do the next thing. There's a lot. There's always a lot. But it is something I enjoy. The biggest frustration is that sometimes you've got the drive but not the time, and sometimes you have the time but not the drive. Sometimes you have the time and the drive, but when you sit there, you're like, dude, nothing is clicking. So it kind of doesn't matter that I have time for this and want to, because I just can't. I guess it's the time, the drive, and the spark, and you need all three. That's kind of what I'm hoping for Friday. But that's it. Happy Thursday.